Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm participating in a collab with some of the other moms on the YouTube Mommy Meetup group, and it is Crocktober. So today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my crock pot recipes, and what I'm going to do also is link the playlist link of all of the other people participating in Crocktober. It's actually been going on all month long. I was assigned day 29, so here we are. Today's recipe is super simple. I've been cooking with a crock pot since college, actually. Yeah. When I first started out, it was mostly like roasts and like the big meats and things like that. Then I kind of moved on to soups and chilies, and while I still do all of that, it seems like in the past year or so, I've needed things that are convenient. Now, the crock pot is convenient. Really, a lot of times all you do is just dump stuff in there and set the timer. But I've been, I don't know, maybe a little bit burned out on some of those things, which is why I'm loving Crocktober, because some of these recipes these ladies are coming up with are amazing, simple, healthy, like clean eating, which is awesome. But I came up with something a little bit different, kind of more of using your crock pot in a less traditional way. Now, I'm not talking about anything crazy, but I'm really into life hacks and things that are going to make my life a lot easier. So a couple things I've been doing, like I've been putting just chicken breasts in there and letting those cook all day with like salsa or barbecue sauce or something like that. That way we have barbecue chicken or salsa chicken at the end of the day. Super easy stuff like that. Doesn't have to be a million different ingredients. But in this video, I'm going to show you my spaghetti squash recipe in the slow cooker or crock pot, whatever you want to call it, because I do love spaghetti squash. I love all the different squashes, but I love spaghetti squash. And I'm going to show you in this recipe how I prepared it this one particular time. There are lots of different things you can do with it, but you could do the same recipe with acorn squash. You could do it with butternut squash as well. However, with butternut squash, for some reason, I think the skin is a little bit thinner, but you actually wrap the butternut squash in foil twice before you put it in the crock pot. But without further ado, let's jump into my spaghetti squash recipe using the crock pot. Okay, for starters, does anyone else cut their squash like they are an axe murderer with a meat cleaver? Nope, just me. Okay, and you can watch me struggle to get into the squash. This is story of my life. I need new knives. So there you go. But really all I'm doing here is just cutting it in half and scooping out the seeds. I'm sure there's some sort of recipe as to what to do with spaghetti squash seeds. I've never tried it before, so if you have a recipe or a pin or something like that, leave it below. I would love to try it because I know I go through quite a few spaghetti squash each week. After scooping out the seeds, I just take the spaghetti squash halves and put them in the crock pot. This was an extra large spaghetti squash, and I did not think this one through before I got an extra big one, but the lid wouldn't fit. Let me tell you folks, the day I filmed this, I was truly riding the struggle bus, and yeah. So anyway, I just decided to take a small kitchen towel and place it over the top, and the lid stayed on a little bit better, but not perfect. So what are you gonna do? And then I'm just setting it on low for 3 hours and letting it do its thing. And 3 hours later, it is all ready. And the reason why I love doing this in the crock pot rather than the oven is because the oven, you have to heat it up to like 425, and I don't like heating up the oven if I don't have to. Yeah, I just don't like it. I'd rather use the crock pot, and it's so much easier and probably uses a lot less electricity. And this is just the way I'm preparing my spaghetti squash. You could do whatever you want, but I am adding about a tablespoon of good old Kerrygold butter, the best stuff out there, and I just drop it in the spaghetti squash, and then just take a fork and peel out the insides. And this is why it's called spaghetti squash, because it looks like little spaghetti noodles. But you guys, this is straight vegetable. It's not noodles. So You know, half of a spaghetti squash is more than a meal. It is delicious and it totally counts as a vegetable. Possibly, depending on the size of your spaghetti squash probably 2 servings at least of vegetable. And I like to add the butter because it makes it really creamy, and of course it is completely optional. But I also like to add a couple more things to make it more like a dessert. Again, you don't have to do this, but I am adding a small sprinkling of brown sugar and a little bit of cinnamon to make it interesting and kind of like a dessert. Now that everything is in there, I just like to mix it up, put it in this big bowl, and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Be sure to check out all the other ladies participating in the Crocktober month-long celebration of the crock pot this fall. I will leave all of their links below. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.